Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I wanted to make this video and talk to you guys about endometriosis a little bit more specifically because today is day 2 of my period, and usually day 1 and day 2 are like my rough days. That's kind of usually where my endo symptoms come in the worst. This is where I experienced most of my pain. Painful period pain, cramping, heavy periods, and just like you know, everything that kind of goes with it. And for the longest time when I was younger, even into adulthood, I just thought that that was normal. I thought that you're supposed to suffer through your period and that cramps and pain is normal. And of course it is. Most people who have periods do deal with cramping and some pain, but I never really understood like the level of pain that I had and that it wasn't considered normal. And it took going through our infertility journey and starting and actually I didn't really connect the dots until after I was diagnosed through surgery. Yeah, it's just wild that I spent all those years thinking that, you know, this was what I was supposed to deal with, and we just don't talk about it. It's fair, like it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing that you're going through. You're like in your vulnerable state of being on your period and you just don't really talk about, you know, the logistics of it. And what happens with that is we're kind of like left in our own little bubble and not really understanding like when something should be checked out, when something is further than the like norm, so to speak, and when, you know, going to a doctor is a good idea, because we just don't really know. So that is the purpose behind why I talk about my endometriosis, is because if I can just encourage one person, and I've had messages before of people kind of saying this thing, and that is why I continue to talk about it, but just to encourage you that if you feel like something might be off, to explore that and to advocate for yourself. Always advocate for yourself. And that's something that I'm learning and working on too. Like I said, today is day 2 of my period. Nova's having a nap right now, and so I'm able to kind of just like rest. We've had a slow morning. Like usually on these couple days we're pretty relaxed because honestly, like we went for a walk this morning, which is great, but I had to take it really slow because the pain is just there. For me right now, this period has been actually kind of a relief, because my last period I went through like some weird health stuff and excruciating pain. So this one I'm feeling pretty decent actually, even though there is some pain. And then that coupled with the fact that I have recently gone gluten-free. I've been gluten-free for like 3 weeks, so I didn't expect there to be a huge difference or anything, but for a lot of people, like an anti-inflammatory or gluten-free diet is huge. But I wanted to, while we're talking on the topic of pain, I wanted to talk to you guys about, and show you rather, this really cool device that is gonna, I think is gonna be a bit of a game changer for me, and I'm actually really excited. So I'm partnering with Ovira for today's video, and I'm just going to open up the package, try it out for myself, and tell you guys honestly what I think or what I feel. So Ovira is like this small and wearable TENS device, and what it does is it stops the pain signals to your brain, and it just kind of alleviates some of the pain. And so a TENS machine is actually something that I've used in the past. I was actually able to use a TENS machine for my labor, and I think that that was a huge reason why I was able to go for 12 hours through the night doing natural labor and going through my really intense contractions, is because I had that thing on me the whole time. And so this is like a small wearable device that I'm going to be able to wear and to hopefully help with some of this period pain that I have. Okay, so I have the box here. These are the little like pads that go with it. And then this is, that's so cute. This is the actual package. Okay, oh my gosh, this is way smaller than I expected it to be. It's tiny, and it has like a clip so you can put it on your like waistband. Oh my gosh, that's so small. Like look at my hand for reference. So these are all of the things. I'm gonna put it together and then show you how it works and try it out. It's cute. Okay, so I just plugged it into charge. It just like plugs into a USB adapter there. So we'll just let it charge for a minute and then I will try it out. Okay, so I'm sitting here. I have them on because most of my pain is kind of in the front. You can also put it on your back if that's where you get the majority of your pain, but you can control plus or minus like your intensity. Right now I have it on the like first setting. I just press plus once and you can like feel it, but it's not like too intense or anything. I'm gonna try one more. So what it basically feels like is like almost like vibration, but like kind of like a, it's really hard to describe actually, but it just kind of like feels exactly what you would imagine. It's just like a little vibration type feeling. It doesn't hurt or anything like that, but I would say you definitely want to go slow with like how many times you press the plus button, just to make sure you're at like the level that you want. So right now I have it on 3. I went up 3, and that feels pretty good. Even at like 4 pluses, I feel like it's still pretty good. So yeah, you can adjust it totally to like what works for you. You can just like clip it on your waistband, which is so awesome, and then you can just go about your day, which I think is great. So I guess I'm just gonna sit here and relax for a few minutes and just kind of let it do its thing. Okay, so don't mind my messy table back there, but I decided to go back off camera and I put it even lower. So I have it like really low, like as low as it can go comfortably. And yeah, I think that that works better because I think I had it a little too high at first just because I was doing it on camera. I didn't want to like, you know, totally show everything, but yeah, that is actually really good. And I love how like versatile this is. Like I can literally just go about life and it is so tiny, like it's so small, and you don't even know. I'm really excited about this, especially because I just really love that there's like a drug-free way for pain relief, and it's instant. Like the second you turn it on, it's instant instead of having to wait for like a drug to kick in or something. So that's really awesome. Also, this company was founded by a female, of course, which is so great. Her name is Alice, and she went through excruciating periods and she had endometriosis, so she knows what this is like. So I definitely think that that's a really cool thing too. So I'm just lounging on the couch, enjoying the final moments of relaxation before Nova wakes up, and we have a few things to do. But yeah, I'm just really happy that I have this in my life now. Like I'm honest, like this is my honest thoughts. I really do think that this is a great device. So of course there will be a link in the description box for you to check it out. Even just go check out the website, see what it's all about. They have some videos and some like different things on there that you can look at. And thank you so much, Ovira, for working with me today on this video and for sending this over and for basically helping me find a way to not feel as much pain during my period, because this is something that has affected my life so much over the years. So thank you. So I'm still wearing it and I actually feel really good. So yeah, I'm super excited, but I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys a bit more about endo and a bit of the stuff that I haven't like necessarily talked about. So a lot of you guys know like my story with endometriosis, how I was diagnosed, how I found out, that kind of thing. And I'll also link some videos in the iCard so that you can kind of get familiarized. But one of you guys sent me this like survival guide a little while ago. I think I still have the note. Let's see. Susie, thank you, Susie, so much. I have been looking at it more and more and peeking a little bit more, but I definitely need to take the time to just like full on read the whole thing. But it's like this really fun, colorful guide with diagrams and stuff, and it's all about endometriosis. Even just recently talking with my family doctor about my endometriosis and like next steps and stuff, and just feeling super defeated in that office because I just didn't feel like she knew the things that I am learning. It just feels like you're constantly having to do this all on your own, basically, is what I feel like. I'm not really being given like the information that I need by the people that I felt like I should be trusting, like doctors and stuff, and I'm having to seek it out myself. So many of you guys have recommended over the years to join the Facebook group called Nancy's Nook, and it's on Facebook, and it's like a group you have to like request to be joined in. It's got so many members and it's all about endometriosis, and so I joined it years ago now. I think I've been a part of it for like 3 years, maybe more, and it's really helpful. Tons of information. It's a huge recommend for me. to you if you are dealing with endo, and if you don't know where to start, that's a good place. It's highly encouraging towards excision surgery because that is truly the best way to find relief with endometriosis. Commonly surgeries happen and it's like burning. It's called, I think it's called ablation. And what they do, so this is even a little diagram. So if this is your endo, and then they just burn it off, you can see like it's still there. This like iceberg analogy, right? If you just burn off the top of the iceberg, there's still all of the disease that's embedded within your tissue. And so burning it off, like, it's not a fix. It's not something that's really going to do any good. So what is recommended, and what we're trying to advocate for and lean towards, is excision. And so it's essentially endo, it's actually removing like under the root of where the endometriosis is embedded and just cutting it out, like all of it, so that it's not able to grow back. Because here it's just gonna grow back. It's just gonna grow back always, no matter what. This, it won't. And so that is something that I really have been wanting to get, is an excision surgery. For years now, it's been on my radar. I've been kind of trying to figure out how to make this happen, but my problem that I'm finding is that there just aren't like any specialists. So Nancy's Nook, on that Facebook group, you can go in and you can see the specialists in your area, and they're all kind of like tried and true, so to speak, from people's experiences with doing excision. It kind of gives you some information, like, do they push hormone therapy, which isn't considered ideal, and are they, you know, skilled at their craft? Like, what does that look like? And in my area, in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, there are only, I think on the list there says there's 3, and then one of them says they're not practicing right now, so then that means 2, but then one seemed kind of iffy. And then the one that I did see, I actually tried to get into before Nova's IVF transfer. I got my family doctor to put in like a referral for me, and waited, and I never heard back, and I never knew what that was. And then I got pregnant with Nova, and it just kind of all like went to the side. And so when I was going back with all this pain that I was having last month, and I'm asking my doctor, okay, well, what happened there? Because months before she had told me that they just denied my referral, but I didn't understand why. So this time I asked her like why, and I guess it's something to do with, they thought that I was just trying to get in for their care to help my IVF, but that wasn't why. It was to help me as a person. But they denied me because of that reason, because they didn't see it as like a reason to need surgery to get pregnant. Anyways, so essentially it feels like there's one specialist that I can go to here in Canada. Like here in Alberta, we have amazing healthcare that I'm very grateful for, so grateful for. Okay, but what that means is that things take forever. Like there's just wait lists beyond wait lists, and it's really hard to actually get in to see anybody if you have like something special, like you need a specialist. It's really hard to get in because it's all public, and it's all, you know, wait lists. You have to wait for this, you have to get a referral, you have to wait. And so I am having a hard time like getting into this. I'm being referred to a gynecologist that I'm gonna have my initial appointment in like a couple months, so there's waiting there, and I don't know how much she's really going to be able to do for me, and I'm going to hope that she'll push me in the right direction with the specialist. But then I saw in the Facebook group recently that someone in my area was trying to get on the wait list, and she was told it was like over 2 years on the wait list before you'd even get your surgery. And all of it's all of it's kind of up in the air with being, you know, in the midst of like IVF and potential pregnancies, because I'm afraid that if I were to like get on the wait list and then they say, hey, a surgery spot opened up, and I'm like, sorry, I'm pregnant, then I would just kind of get like shoved off of all of it. So it's something that's like really stressful for me. I know that I'm on the right path, just like at the very beginning, and I'm hoping that I can make my way. I think it's going to take years though, which is super discouraging and defeating, because like, you know, it's just weird. I know what the problem is for for the most part, and I know what the solution is for the most part, but the middle, like, I just can't get there, and it feels like there's nothing I can do because it's completely out of my hands, and it's almost like I'm just like floating around and alone. And if I were to travel somewhere else and see a different surgeon, like with that, I don't really understand all of this. Maybe you guys can give me some info, but I think that would mean I'd have to pay for it out of pocket, and the surgery, like, that's just like, I just don't have that kind of money. So anyways, it's something I'm working towards. I think it's going to take a long time, and I'm just going to have to keep advocating for myself and keep trying to push to get in that right direction, because I know that this is important and it's something that affects my life all the time. So it's going to be a process, and I know that, but I wanted to just say that and share that with you guys to encourage you that if you're feeling kind of in the same place where you're just kind of in limbo, where you aren't able to get answers, or maybe you don't feel like you're being listened to, or maybe you just, like, it's just taking a long time, I just want you to know you're not alone in that, and that I'm encouraging you to keep pushing forward and keep advocating for yourself. Also, definitely pick this up. I don't know where you can find it, but I think it has lots of good information. That's just a little bit more about endometriosis and living with endometriosis and how it's affecting my life behind the scenes, and some of the things that I haven't necessarily shared thus far. So I hear little Miss Nova waking up. I'm gonna go get her and yeah, spend the rest of our day together. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Remember, Ovira, link down below, check it out. They're an Australian company, women made, and I just really think that it's a helpful tool. So definitely check out the link down below. Thanks to them for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. What was that?